Hello, this is Nick George with Cosmetic Sharpening. Just going to show you a breakdown review on this clipper, why to buy it and why not to buy it. So first we're going to talk about this clipper before we take it apart and sharpen it. It's a great clipper. The only bad thing about these is they do not offer parts to anybody. So when it's out of warranty, they are basically you buy a new one. Myself, I use Andis, and because they have parts available. I wish they had parts for these. Most of the time, if you don't drop them, they won't break, and as long as you always get the blade sharpened, then this won't wear out, the motor won't wear out. But if you don't use oil, you never get your blade sharpened, this clipper is going to last you a year, and then you're going to be buying a new one after warranty. These are $190 clippers. You should take care of them. So I'm going to go through, we're going to show you how to take this apart. I don't recommend you do it if you never took a clipper apart. I don't want you to take it apart and it not work when you put it back together. But I'm going to show you how to clean the motors and oil the motor and keep this running tip-top shape. So take the two blade screws out. These hold the blade to the housing of the clipper. Then there's basically blade guide. You have to remove this. And then there's a little spring here. Okay, don't lose your pieces. You're gonna need a T8 maybe, pretty small. I don't know, the sizes are not on here, you'll have to look that up. Don't take these apart if you've never done it, because you probably won't get it back together. So that's the blade apart. Let's sharpen it up. So let's talk about this blade before we sharpen it. So if you notice, there's some bent teeth there. This has to be resurfaced. This is not flat. If it was flat, it would pull on the edges. So you hollow the middle of the blade out and it pinches the teeth down so it cuts. Now, these are diamond-like coating, DLC coating. So let me tell you what this means. It means that it's going to have a hard finish, but it's going to have to be removed after it's resurfaced. Doesn't mean it's not going to be sharp, just means it's not going to stay as sharp as long as the DLC coating would last. But the sharpening will last longer than a new blade. Okay, now we're going to sharpen it up. Grain diamond, resurfaced it. So I gotta put the guide back on. So this is how you adjust it. Just loosen them up a little bit and then move it back. Okay, now I know they say zero gap on these, but zero gap does not mean no gap at all, because it will cut your skin. This is a moving knife, and you don't want it to hang over the comb ever. So we set it really close. If you can notice, it's really close, but it's not zero gap. Zero gap will leave razor burn and bumps and rash, and you don't want that. Make us both look bad. So get it to where you want it to be adjusted and then tighten it up. And if you look, that's pretty much perfect. There's a little bit of light that can go through there, so it isn't all the way to the end of this comb blade. So now we'll take apart the clipper that the blade is done, and we'll oil this motor. You want to put a little grease right in here, which we will. Keep that from melting. And please don't do this if you're afraid of ruining your clippers, because these are expensive. So there's 2 screws underneath this, and then there's 2 screws up there, and there's 2 screws in the back of here. And that should be it, if I'm correct. So you want to remove all that hair in there. You want to oil right down in where the shaft moves, but let's blow this out. I'll be right back. And there's these little clips. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you've never done this, because you could break it. Let me get some tools. Make sure you get this on right, because this little notch here decides if the posts are plus or minus, and if you get this upside down, then it's not going to charge correctly. So the best way to show you that this cuts is just cut my hair.